welcome once again to the Red Bull Matchbox Race 2020. Today's event is qualification number 2. Here is a look at the event course, a ridgeline road track full of twists and turns. A racer's time will begin when their vehicle passes the start line here, and the clock stops when their vehicle emerges from the tunnel in the final straight. Now, this course is not a simple race to the finish, go as fast as you can affair. It requires restraint and control. If a driver accelerates too quickly on the opening straight into the first corner, their vehicle will launch off the cliff drop into the berm, ricocheting down the second straight and losing speed, and more importantly, precious control. Here's our opening lineup. This being such a technical course, these 10 drivers will each have 6 chances to make it down the course once. Once a driver has succeeded, they will have unlimited chances to make it a second time, but the first success must come in the first 6 attempts. A vehicle that cannot make it down in 6 attempts will be marked with a DNF and will not move forward. Without further ado, here's our first driver. Our first driver tonight, Anne-Marie Stott, in a Corvette Stingray concept, is a great example of why a car cannot just go fast all the way down the track. Anne-Marie failed to complete the course in all 6 runs. We are showing runs 1 and 6. You can see how both times Anne-Marie was turned around by the speed they took into the cliff drop. Unfortunately for Anne-Marie, this will end their 2020 Red Bull Matchbox run. Our next driver is Clark Cannon in the DeLorean DMC. Let's take a look at their first successful run. Very rocky going over the cliff, and slow through the rest of the course. Let's take a look at their 4th run. Looking very fast so far, with immense speed going over the cliff and smooth through the rest. That is a course record of 4:19. Clark will be very happy with that. Our third driver is Sama Dillard in the D-Muscle, another new Hot Wheels. Sama made it down in their first run. This is a very fast-looking run, but unfortunately they go into the wall right before the final tunnel, which slowed them down quite a bit. Here's their second run. They get turned around completely, and that slows them down so that their first run was their best at 4:34, a very respectable time, and our most consistent driver yet. Next is Connor Sutton in a Fisker Karma. Connor was also able to make it down in their first run. Let's take a look. Looking a little bit slow through the course in that run. This run is also looking a little bit slow. Connor Sutton does not manage to break 5 seconds, which will put them in the back of the pack, unfortunately. Our next driver, Taylor Quarterback Dillon, is driving a very deckled Corvette. Now, this is a vehicle that did not have any issues in the tester's box, but unfortunately, it turned out on the course itself that really long, low-to-the-ground nose was fatal. So we're showing its first 2 runs, neither of which showed any promise of making it all the way down the course. And so unfortunately for Taylor, their run in the Matchbox race ends here. Our next driver, Tatiana Funky Speed Lees, is driving yet another Corvette. Let's take a look at their first run. Looking relatively fast around the first corner, and smooth through the rest of the course. Oh, I spoke too soon, flipped on the final tunnel. It took them all the way until run 7 to complete the course yet again, perhaps a bit flighty after that flip in the first run. Despite the flip, the first run was their fastest, coming in at 4:52, a very respectable time. Our next driver is Tyler Blake in a Jaguar XJ220 from 1992. This is one of the few vehicles in this competition with suspension. They made it down in their second run. Looking quite comfortable all the way down the course, but not particularly fast. Their next run, this second completion of theirs is looking even slower than the first, and look hardly makes it down the final straight. Their first run of 5:07 will have to satisfy Tyler. Our next driver is Beatrice Lawson in a Ford Mustang from 2015. This is a tricked out looking vehicle, made it down in their second run. A bit slow around the first corner, but smooth through the rest of the course. Faster through that first corner, and quite quick through the rest of the course. And they broke that 5-second barrier, recording a very respectable time of 4:45. Maya Haynes in the Honda Civic SI is not expected to make it down the course with a moderately concerning issue with their vehicle. But let's take a look at their first run. Very slow, and ouch, came to a sudden stop right before the second corner. Very slow, very rocky, and just comes to a stop in the second corner. Maya Haynes joins Taylor QB Dillon and Anne-Marie Stott with a DNF. Our next driver also failed to make it down the course at all, Pierce Pucky Pitt in a Hummer H2. This vehicle had a number of things going against it, one being its height and the other being soft tires. And look at these accidents. Not very pretty to look at. And Pierce Pucky Pitt is the fourth driver today that could not complete the course. Thank you for joining us once again for a qualifying round of the Red Bull Matchbox Race 2020. Here are our current top 10. Clark Cannon in the DeLorean DMC, leading the pack with a very respectable 4:19. Then Jordan Gates, our previous leader. Once again, thank you for joining us. This was Red Bull Matchbox Race 2020 qualification number 2. Consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one.